Hey guys, got this head torqued on. Sometimes in Indy heads, these cutouts for the nuts on the studs are very close, and your studs or the hole isn't exactly true. This time I had a lot of trouble, there's a piece of aluminum right there, getting my socket in the hole to torque that down, this guy and this guy. So I actually had to put the socket on there, square it up, get it started, and tap it on with a hammer, and then tap to the side, tap to the side, tap to the side, to make the aluminum like kind of bead in to give me a little clearance. And I mean, the head's lined up and everything. It's just a few thousandths of a difference in the casting, and then maybe, I don't know, this stud was from a different spot and it went back and it was just a little bit different or a little bit bent. I doubt it's bent, you know what I mean? Their ARPs are super strong, but I don't know. But I don't remember having that hole before. And when it was on there just barely tight, I actually whacked it with a mallet just to make sure everything was centered, kind of drift it up a little bit against the pins, the locator studs. But I mean, you see that the line is perfect. And sometimes you run into shit like that with the aftermarket heads where their clearance is not particularly perfect. Now, I mean, obviously it's not that far off if I'm able to tap the socket on there. Just a little weird thing. But this guy's all torqued on, 65 pounds. Molly lube. Wow, there's a bird in here. Anyway, I want to show you how to seal an Indy head to a plate. That's what your silicone bead should look like. So first you put on the valley plate, run yourself a bead on the edge of the valley plate that goes under the head. And you tighten your head on, torque it down, and generally the valley plate's a little bit warped. It's not perfect because it's fairly thin, you know. So the edges of the first bead will touch the head and the center will have a hair of a gap even when you torque it down. Sometimes if your bead's bigger, it'll stick, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But then after, you have to run a bead on top, and then you got to paint it in with your finger. It's just gray. It's a little hard to see, gray silicone. It's something in it right there. I don't know what it is, a little chunk of hard silicone or whatever, but I'm not going to frig with it and dig it out. I'll just let it harden, it'll be fine. But yeah, I paint it on, put it in with my finger, make sure it goes in there, seals it up, work the edges good, and then I'll take let me grab it. I'll take this flat razor and just push it down, push it down, push it down, make a nice line, clean it off, and that'll give you a good seal. I've never had one leak. I've had this engine apart quite a few times and done the same RTV technique to put it back together. I always put a little bit of RTV under the edge of the head gasket right there too, which would be, you know, down in here, just to make sure that glues. But that's what your RTV should look like. To keep that head sealed, I'm gonna go over this one more time after it sits a few minutes and move on to the next one. Later.